All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Now, I was about to go into this article, which I still am, but seems there's a bit more breaking news information here. All right, dealing with Russia and basically everything that's going on right now involving the Nord Stream, and so on and so forth. Now, currently, all right, for those that are aware and that are in the know, we understand that the Lord is setting things up. Remember that the scriptures say, I believe in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, that the Lord said he was going to put hooks into the jaws of Gog and Magog, all right, which Gog and Magog represent Russia today, all right. And in Isaiah, the 13th chapter, it talks about how the Lord is going to stir up the Medes, okay. And once again, those Medes, prophetically, not historically, prophetically, they refer to the Russians. So that's what you see going on, and all these actions that Putin and Russia is taking, all the talks, now they're talking about nuclear weapons and all of these things are a result, okay, of the Lord stirring them up, because now they're shifting more into a different state. They've been aroused up, okay. Now they're still holding on to some level of self-control, all right, for lack of a better word, to an extent, and that's the Lord having that spirit upon them, all right, because there's still a few things that need to take place prior to this World War III going nuclear. But don't be deceived, World War III is going to happen, and it's going to happen soon, and it's going to be just as bad, if not worse, than you think, all right. Nuclear missiles will be shot off. Places will be completely decimated. Places like America, different cities, all of that. All right, so it's going to be very intense, and it's going to happen. And now people are starting to see, as more and more things tack on that are in the range of prophecy. Now people are starting to look up more what's going on here. They're trying to keep their ears more open. You know, more and more people are starting to want to associate themselves as though they've been in the prophetic circle for the longest. But I mean, you can fool men, but you can't fool the Most High. Now, this article says Putin signs treaties on Donbass, Zaporozhye, if I'm saying that right, and Kherson ascension to Russia. Now, check this out. The treaties are now being verified by the Russian Constitutional Court and ratified by Parliament. President Vladimir Putin has signed the treaties on the inclusion of the two Donbass republics, as well as Kherson and Zaporozhye or Zai regions, which declared independence from Ukraine in the Russian Federation. Friday's ceremony marks the start of the formal process of their ascension to Russia. So now Russia is basically today has like it says, they started that process of basically including Donbass and what was this other place, Kherson, and these regions into Russia, making it a part of Russia now. So guess what? If Ukraine attempts to go up in there or quote unquote claim it back or any of that stuff, in essence they would be threatening Russia. Okay, so you can already see how the Lord is using these different events to set things up for war, because war is coming and Russia is a superpower. It says the move follows official requests by the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republic, as well as the two southern Ukraine regions, which declared independence to join Russia. All four territories held referendums on the issue between September 23rd and 27th, and which saw overwhelming support for the move, according to the results announced earlier this week by the local election committees. In Donetsk, 99.23% of the people voted to reunite with Russia, with Lugansk showing a slightly lower figure of 98.42%. Zaporozhye region highly supported the idea of splitting from Ukraine and joining Russia, with around 93% of voters backing it. Some 87% voted in favor of Kherson region as well. All right. And then it goes on to let you know, but basically this is what's happening here. All right. The so-called parts of Ukraine are now joining Russia. All right. Now it says here, another update is Ukrainian presidential advisor says Russia will have to appeal to Ukraine to allow Moscow's encircled troops out of Lyman if it is concerned about them. You know, so they're still going back and forth with that. Now, the article that I was originally looking at, here it says Russia says West was mastermind of Nord Stream attacks. Okay. Oh, interesting. I'm sorry. Another breaking news. Russia now on Yahoo News, this is how they label it, right? They said Russian President Vladimir Putin illegally annexes 4 regions of Ukraine, vows to defend territory with all available means. So you see how this thing is manifesting. So on one end, we're reading about how these territories, right, basically were all in favor of it. They declared an independence from Ukraine and then to join Russia. But then on the other hand, you have articles that are publishing it saying, oh, Russia illegally annexed territory of Ukraine. So you can see how this can definitely spark up more conflict. But it's all the doings of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. It's a part of prophecy. All right, Salakia. So it says, so back to this article. Now it says, Russia says West was mastermind of Nord Stream attacks. Spy chief Sergei Nareshkin claims Moscow's opponents are trying to cover up sabotaging the pipelines. The director of Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, SVR, Sergei Narishkin, says there is evidence that indicates that the West may have been behind the disabling of the Nord Stream undersea pipelines. And if you know, I mean, these are all rumors, you know, and as it you know becomes more and more, I'm sure they'll start digging and bringing more and more evidence out to the public. And it doesn't look like they're going in the direction opposite of war. Even if they try to talk things out or calm things down, remember that according to prophecy, these things are going to happen. Now, there are a series of things that need to take place before the war goes nuclear, but it doesn't mean they're just going to stop and all become friends until then and then suddenly go to war. No, the Lord is going to keep on building it up and building it up and building it up. All right, at just the right pace, so that as these other prophecies like the MOTB, the CHIP, okay, the martial, all these other things, as they take place, this prophecy of the War of Armageddon will fit right into its place smoothly. Okay. So it says, where we at? We already have certain materials which point to a Western trace in organizing and executing this terrorist attack. Narishkin told journalists on Friday. He made the remark after explaining that Western nations were trying to cover up the incident to protect the perpetrators and masterminds. A number of Western nations launched a series of the authors of this terrorist attack pretty much the day after it happened. He explained, I believe the West is doing everything to hide the true executors and organizers of the incident. Interesting. Leaks in the underground, leaks in the underwater gas route between Russia and Germany were detected this week after a rapid drop of pressure on Monday. Seismologists in Sweden detected explosions in the area where natural gas flowing out of the pipes was later discovered by air patrols. Western and Russian officials believe the ruptures to have been caused by sabotage. So that then, if it's caused by sabotage, somebody is behind it. And if somebody's behind it, either way it goes, there's going to be fingers pointed at one direction, fingers pointed in another direction. And once they find out who did it, there's going to be some big trouble, because this has very major consequences, especially at a time now where Europe, which is a super big depender on this, is already going through energy crisis. And now this, it says Nikolai Patrushev, the secretary of the Russian National Security Council, stated on Friday that the U.S. was the primary beneficiary of the disruption. He pointed to a CIA-backed attack on Nicaragua's oil infrastructure in the 1980s as a historic example of American sabotage operations. Interesting. There's another breaking news stuff here. It says a shocked Wall Street reacts after Nike plummets on unexpected inventory surge. Interesting. So you got a lot of things that are going on. Yep. And yeah, pretty much this is with this whole pipeline situation, the Nord Stream situation, you have a lot of finger pointing going on, but a lot of people have their eyes on what is happening. What is this going to lead to? Israel warns that Russian Israelis could be at risk of being forcibly drafted into Russian military if currently in Russia. Interesting. All right, but let's get a quick precept here. This is actually, I'll start off with this. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 16. It says, "Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read." And the book of the Lord is the Bible. Okay. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. So no one of what is going to fail? These prophecies. And that's why you're seeing them all come to pass. The words written in this book, all of these things, they're going to come to pass as they've been written. And one major prophecy is the destruction. All right, that's the second death. This World War III is going to bring about the second death. That's written in the scriptures, the lake of fire. All right. So it's going to happen. And for those that take the MOTB, you're going to get a taste of that. You're not going to be forgiven for taking MOTB. You're going to be cleansed by fire. Okay? And that's why it's so important to understand these scriptures. You have to understand these scriptures. This is how you gain that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to keep you stable. You gain the understanding of the times that you are living in that are affecting your life and your future. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. It says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time," which is true. All these, the prophecies we read about, most of them are visions, if not all, that were shown to the prophets of old, and they wrote them down thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago. And those visions that they saw and wrote down were visions that were set for an appointed time, meaning that these were things that they saw that would happen at a specific time in the future that they didn't know. Okay? It says, but at the end it shall speak. So each vision has its set time, but at the end it shall speak, meaning it's going to come to pass. It's going to be accomplished. It's going to be fulfilled. It says, and not lie. And when you look into that word, it basically means it's not going to fail. It's not going to turn the prophecy into a false statement or a lie. All right, it's gonna be fulfilled exactly as it was prophesied. And a part of that is the MOTB, the martial law, the famines, the pestilences. You're seeing different natural disasters. You're seeing the economic turmoil, which economic collapse is prophesied. Inflation is also prophecy. Okay. People dying of starvation, prophecy. People getting drafted into the wars, prophecy. All of these things that you see happening are all prophetic. But that's why the scriptures say, blessed is he that readeth, because a lot of people don't read, so they don't know. And then they sound surprised. They sound shocked and look shocked when you tell them this. And most of them in unbelief. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And that was the mistake of a lot of people. Though when the prophecies tarried, they didn't want to wait for it. And they didn't. Okay? But the scriptures say that you're supposed to wait for it, though it tarry. That's where patience comes in. Because thou hast kept the word of the Lord's patience, he will also keep thee. A lot of people didn't do that. And now that it's surely coming, it's not tarrying. People are trying to, move with haste. I mean, to an extent, because even now you still have people that are just going all about like they ain't got nothing going on in their life. All right. This is one more precept. This is the book of, where we at? Right. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. All right. And a time to every purpose under the heaven. And then it goes on to the different things, but I'm going to jump down and hit specific verses because, like it says in verse 3, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. So even killing, there's a time for that. Healing, there's a time for that. Breaking down, building up. Right now, we are in the time of judgment. That means this is the time where there's going to be a lot of death. There's going to be a lot of things being broken down. Verse 4, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. And Jacob's trouble is a time to weep, a time to mourn. The laughing is going to be for the Lord's elect. Okay. Now I want to jump down to the main point, which is verse 8. It says, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Okay, so now what we're seeing is that time of war. We're seeing that love turn cold, as the Lord prophesied in Matthew 24. The love of many waxing cold, and we're seeing the hate come out of people more and more on an intensified level. Even looking at the kind of crimes that are being committed. All right, the lack of hospitality, the mindset of the people, it's all in a preparation for this time of Jacob's trouble. And as it says, a time of war and a time of peace. But this peace is going to come after the war. Okay, so this war is definitely going to happen. All right, but we just got to have patience and let it play out as the Lord has set it up. However, remaining upon our watch. Okay, keep watching and keep seeing. These things are escalating. It doesn't mean World War III is going to pop off next week. All right, it doesn't mean that America is going to be destroyed in 2 weeks. Okay, it's coming, but you got to have patience and let it play out. So with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kudash. Until next time, Shalom.